I'ma get this done. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember, that's right. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. Taharka Bey, front line to the long, call my number, supersedes. This era for the workers, you ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a worker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface, probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose, ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every move that I can fast. He ain't my bro, yeah you know I ain't slow, I see it all before. Let's get it started. You're the prophet that was all before. Let's get it started. Some got it right. Islam, family. First and foremost, I rise. I give praise to the great God of the universe. I'm running a little bit behind. Let me tell you what had happened. Again, what had happened was, welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. But what had happened was this. I discovered something about 2 months ago. Let me tell you what I discovered before I bring my brother in. I discovered something. I discovered that Moorish Americans have been arguing the wrong point. When you talk about jurisprudence, I believe that the wrong point has been argued. The main point that needs to be argued, if there is an argument, and I'm talking about a peaceful dialogue or a peaceful intellectual conversation, I think what need to be put to the table is comparisons. That's it. Look at what Prophet Noble Drew Ali say, and look what anybody says who say they follow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if it doesn't match up, it's not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's doctrine. Period, point blank. Get mad, go crazy, call me names. I'm an agent. I'm a sellout. I love the European. Come on, give me all of it. If it doesn't match Prophet Noble Drew Ali's doctrine, it should be thrown in the trash can. If you say you're more. Now, I'm not saying that if you were the Black Power brothers, that's your doctrine. If you're a Hebrew brother, that's your doctrine. Kemetic science brother, that's your doctrine. But if you call yourself a Moor and carry the title El or Bey and say that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is your prophet, whatever you study, Prophet Noble Drew Ali should be your measuring stick. The Constitution is not your measuring stick. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali is your measuring stick. We are to obey hereby. We are to obey hereby. Now, somebody say you don't even match the doctrine. Give me an example. See, this is the Taj. Be respectful, because I kick you out, but be respectful. Tell me how I don't match. You want to call in? Let me give you the number so that you can call in. Don't nobody call in before my brother Ish call in. They're not going to call in. They're not going to call in. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you the number if you want to call in. And you tell me how I am not matching the prophet's teachers. Now, I'm going to embarrass you, but it's going to be in love. It's going to hurt me more than it hurts you. All right? So it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you if you call in. And that's just what it is. But anyway, so now today, we are here. We are gathered here today because on the show that I had with my brother, I think his name is Wimble-El, he made a statement that treaties pretty much supersede supreme law. Now, Ishmael Bey was the moderator. He didn't jump in during the dialogue. He didn't jump in. Okay, let me stop for a second. Are you or not about nationality and indigenous rights? Of course I'm about nationality. Act 6 is about nationality. Act 6 is about nationality. However, when you talk about indigenous rights, there is a descriptive nature on who is recognized as indigenous people. I know we are indigenous people, but if you're going to use the law that's laid down for indigenous people, you have to fit that framework. But we are indigenous to the land. Don't get it twisted. But first, get your name on the books to fit the framework of indigenous people. They actually have a list. Google it. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone so we can get to the show. Now, my brother Ishmael Bey, after the show, let the brother know that supreme law is the law of the land. And then they had a back and forth, very respectful exchanging of thoughts. We actually invited the brother to come on, and anybody else, even right now, if somebody knows somebody that is very good with this treaty stuff. I mean, you know, they're always talking about the Friendship and Peace Treaty. You see what I'm saying? They're always talking about it. Sister, if you are a sister, you say that people have the right to identify. So how is there a list? There is a federal list. Man, you have to talk to, matter of fact, that's the first thing I'm going to let Ishmael Bey touch on, because he deals with indigenous tribes in his profession. And in order to benefit for indigenous rights, you have to fit the framework. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Stop believing everything you hear. But we are indigenous. If you want to learn, email me. We can do that another time. Anyway, back to what I was saying. If you know somebody that can be respectful for the next hour and a half and able to articulate that treaties supersede supreme law, send them to the Moorish World TV, send them to my Facebook messenger. I will give them the link. They can come in and they can make their statements. They can make their claim. I'm not going to cut you off. We're going to listen, and then we're going to let my brother respond. So here we go. Let me introduce you to the Billy D. Williams of the conscious community. This is the smooth. Listen, me and this brother had a Discord dialogue one time, and this brother smoothed me out. So I got worked out. I was like, this brother talking crazy, but he really wasn't talking crazy. But I got worked out, and he was just so smooth. Islam, brother Taharka. Yes, King. Yes, King. So I call him the Billy D of the conscious community and of the Moorish paradigm. And you will know why I said that in a few minutes. Welcome to Moorish World TV, my good brother. How you doing?
Peace and blessings, God. How you doing, brother Taharka?
Hey, brother, there it is. Brother, I got a cold. You can't make me laugh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm doing
beautiful, beautiful. I want to thank you, first of all, for hosting the show and for having the show, brother Taharka. I think that is very important what Moorish World TV brings to the table, as far as, again, the platform that you offer to us and that you created. And I want to thank you again for welcoming me to your show, brother.
Absolutely, brother. And I just want to say this, brother. If anybody know you, I'm gonna give people just a little glimpse so we can get started. Brother Ishmael has been doing this for majority of his adult life. He just didn't pop up on Facebook. His teenage life is consistent with moving in this direction, and then he just went hard body. Anything that you think that you have done with this sovereign ideology, he has done it, and he was successful at it. What I mean successful at it, he was smarter than the judges. What I mean successful at it, that everything that he went for, he got, until they got hip. And now he's out here trying to tell you, like, listen, you got a misunderstanding. Because if it was that real and that authentic, he got away with a lot of stuff with it. When I mean that, everything that him, and these are the stories that I heard, but he could tell you better. him and Brother Sharif, they will outsmart the judge and outlawyer the lawyer and got whatever they bargained for at the bench. So we're speaking to a person with over approximately 25, 30 years of experience. Not to mention, you speak about indigenous, on the flyer is his ancestor who was indigenous for real. Not just claiming it, not just wanting to be it. So, Brother Ishmael Bey, first I want to do this and then I'm going to let you take it away.
Yes, sir, brother.
I could be wrong and correct me if I'm wrong.
Sir.
I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a federal list of indigenous tribes or native tribes?
There is. There's a federal list of indigenous tribes as well as a criteria in order to meet, in order to be recognized as a federal tribe. And not only do they have a list for the federal tribes, but they also have a list for state tribes. So sometimes you don't necessarily meet all the criteria for federal recognition, but you may meet it for state recognition, which may sometimes eventually lead to federal recognition, or it may not. You may just only be recognized as a state as a list. Yes, sir.
And the reason why I said that, because I hear people keep on saying they're indigenous and they fighting for indigenous rights, yet they haven't even took the first step to be recognized.
Correct. And the first step of being recognized, you could even do this approach, which is what Chief Warhorse is doing down in Louisiana. She has her own category, which will be added to this year's census. So over the years, she's had the White House come, send representatives to meet her and her tribe. She's about my complexion. The Choctaw tribe is a state recognized tribe. And again, they are now being added to the federal census, which will be coming up since it comes every 10 years. They're being added on there to be recognized as a tribe, and they survived Katrina and all of the slavery and everything else as a recognized tribe.
Thank you, brother. And I just wanted to point that out because it seemed like everybody wanted to gravitate to the indigenous status, and that's fine. But man, go the right route and become recognized, and then you can fight for rights. You can't even fight for rights if you're not even recognized. That doesn't even make sense to me at all. At all. You know, but anyway, brother, what brings you here today? I know it's consistent with what I've said, but what brings you here today concerning these treaties? This brother made a statement that treaties supersede supreme law. In other words, the friendship treaty, which I know is not, it wasn't relative to the liberation of any slave, but they say the friendship and a peace treaty would be more liberating than any law that Congress would put down, or any and we could go all the way up to the Supreme. If the president would give an executive order, he cannot give an executive order over a treaty. And now I'm exaggerating just a bit, but when we're talking about supreme law, we're talking about the highest law. And so I'm just giving an example of the highest law. So the highest law of the land can be superseded by a treaty. But what you say to that?
Well, again, I just wanted to correct the brother in his error and those of his ilk who keep on repeating that same misnomer. They say that a treaty is the highest law of the land, and it is not. A treaty can be overwritten by the needs of the citizens of the United States, i.e. the Congress. I gave him a specific case. I gave him the head money case to study. He then said that he knows what the case is. I challenged him on that. He could not answer. He got real Cardi B. Who gonna do what the huh? He didn't know what we were talking about. So I said, that's cool. I understand. You know, I don't want to embarrass nobody. I didn't push. I'm not disrespectful. I just told the brother the basics of what the case entailed. So I would like for us to be able to go over this because, you know, once we kind of share the information, then the Moorish trolls start coming up about talking about it's not true or, you know, so let's just simply pull up the case that was being quoted and let's read over it. I have supplied you with the link. So how about we pull up the Head Money link, and then as you pull that up, then we can kind of go over it and break it down a little bit. Is that good for you, brother?
Absolutely. So the Head Money link, I think I have it right here, and I'm gonna screenshot it right now. Give me like a second as I screenshot this.
So as you're pulling it up, I just want to give people the basis of it. It's called the Head Money case. It's basically dealing with, it was argued in November 19th, 1884, and it was decided December 8th, 1884. Okay, so this particular case is dealing with another treaty of peace and friendship. It's the treaty of peace and friendship with the state, I mean, with the country of Holland, the nation of Holland, and them bringing in ships basically into New York City. And New York City wanted to tax them. New York City was saying, okay, you're now in the United States and we need that tax money for each head that's on this ship. They said, well, we have a treaty with you and you're not allowed to tax us. New York State said, yes, we are, because we need to get money for these ships that are coming in. And if we set this precedence with you, then the next treaty of peace and friendship, Moroccan or anyone else, then they're going to be trying to pull the same thing, and we're going to get that money. So they took it to court. So the case was, that's the crust of what the case is. Again, it's very easy to read. The link is from Cornell University Law. I think that Cornell University is a very credible law school. It's a very credible Ivy League law school. So as we go over the Head Money case, we'll go over what the basic details are, as well as what the summary is at the end. So let's just go down to, since we already know what the case entails and it's easy for anyone to read, it will also be posted up in Honor Rock Squad African Moorish Scholarship or on my Facebook page. People are welcome to pull that up. But as we go down, yes, sir. Go ahead, brother.
I want to ask you real quick. So
of course, brother.
In short, what exactly is this case saying? If you can twist it just a little bit for those, because I'm telling you, brother, when I put that post on about that short bus, brother, we got some short bus students, brother. I need you to make it real plain, brother. Matter of fact, I'm short bus. Let's get it.
Yeah. Again, just what I just explained. The case was New York State was saying that we want to tax these people to get the money from these ships that are coming in, and Holland was saying you're not allowed to tax us because we have a treaty of peace and friendship with you as America.
Right.
So that's what the case was. Can America override this treaty and tax these people?
There we go.
That's what it entails. Okay.
Now that's it. And did they override it?
What we'll do is we'll go down to the bottom, and if you can go to page 599, it's almost down at the very bottom. Right before you get down to that 600, you see the P599. It starts with citizens or subjects.
That's right.
So just above that, we're going to start with a treaty. It says, a treaty then is a law of the land as an act of Congress, is which whenever its provisions prescribe a rule by which the rights of the private citizens or subject may be determined, and when such rights are of the nature to be enforced in a court of justice, the court resorts to a treaty for a rule of decision for the case before it would to a statute. But even to this aspect of the case, there is nothing in this law which makes it irrepealable or unchangeable. I'm going to repeat that. It states, they're talking about a treaty. There is nothing in this law which makes it irrepealable or unchangeable. That means that they can change a treaty if they want to. So it is not the highest law of the land. We will go further into this. The Constitution gives no superiority over an act of Congress in this respect, which may be repealed or modified by an act of a later date. Nor is there anything in the essential character or the branches of the government by which the treaty is made, which gives it superior sanctity. They're going to go into how a treaty is made so you can understand why it's not the supreme law of the land. A treaty is made by the president and the Senate. Let's pause right quick. We understand that there are three branches of government, correct?
That's right.
Now, we're talking about the president and the Senate. That's who makes a treaty. But we have three parts of government. So you cannot ignore Congress at all. So let's just go back and start that part again. A treaty is made by the president and the Senate. Statutes are made by the president, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. The addition of the latter body, again, the House of Representatives, to the other two in making a law certainly does not render it less entitled in the matter of its repeal or modification than a treaty made by the other two. So again, you cannot ignore the third part because we function under the three parts of government and not two. Any difference in this regard, it would seem to be in favor of an act in which all three of the bodies participate. And in such, in fact, the case of the declaration of war, which must be made by Congress, and which, when made, usually suspends or destroys existing treaties between the nations, thus a war. So again, like you stated, Brother Taharka, just because the president want to say, I want to go to war, he can't just push the button and say, we're going to go to war. No, it has to be approved by Congress. And again, when Congress says push the button, then your treaty with that nation is null and void. We'll talk about this treaty on the backside after we bomb you and make you into a parking lot. Then we're going to say, you want to turn back on this treaty or not?
That's right.
That's how America functions. That's how the Constitution functions. That's why Negroes are getting people caught up in this treaty mess. They don't understand how these laws operate. And when you pull up case law, they're quick to start trolling and start opening up their mouths and not knowing what the heck they're talking about. So again, we'll go on and continue. In short, we are of the opinion that so far as a treaty made by the United States with any foreign nation, does it say not the Moroccan treaty? No, it says any foreign nation can become the subject of judicial cognizance, and in the states of this country, it is subject to such acts as Congress may pass for its enforcement, modification, or repeal. That's any nation, no exception. Other objections made to the statute, some of these relate not to the power of Congress, but to the act and to the expediency of the justice of the measure. So we'll just go on down to under 600. It is enough to say that Congress having the power to pass a law regulating immigration as part of the commerce of this country with foreign nations, we see nothing in the statute by which it has here exercised that power forbidden by any part of the Constitution. The judgment of the circuit court in all the cases is affirmed.
All right, with that, I want to thank y'all for coming around and spending time with me and Brother Ishmael on Moorish World TV. That concludes, like where do you go from there? You know what I'm saying? Where do you go from there? You know, but brother, they want it, so I say give it to them. Next.
And that's the point that we wanted to make on that, is that there's other machinations that are taking place trying to tie Moors in a broader sense into a pocket of sovereign Moors that are out here running amok and causing disruptions. And it's very, very important to separate or to let the public know that there's a difference. What were you about to say, King?
I was going to say, brother, I definitely appreciate that scholarship, brother. I definitely appreciate that scholarship due to the fact that what you're saying this thing has grown legs for the last 20 years and went crazy. Because it seems to me that everybody wants to confirm what they teach off of R.V. Bey, but I was different when I joined the temple. I tried to disprove what the prophet taught, and I couldn't. And that's what made me strong in more science. I couldn't disprove it. I don't understand how people learn something and just are so one way with it. You know what I'm saying? They're so one way with it. Like, won't you at least try to see if there's some holes in it before you stand on it and put yourself in harm's way? Islam.
And I think that's why that's so very important. Whether the source is from R.V. Bey or is coming from brothers and sisters who intend to do well, they have to understand that there's another element that's pulling from the same tree of information that they're sharing. Say R.V. Bey is just a website.
real quick.
Yes, sir.
Every link that I share, I am going to put in the chat. We ain't covering nothing. We ain't hiding nothing. We can't read the whole case. So I'm going to put everyone in the chat that we go through, every link, so you can get it. All you have to do is hit it or go to it, save it to your computer, and then keep on watching the show. Come on, my brother.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a whole team of links, and thank you so much for doing that, brother. That's very forthright. I appreciate that transparency.
And let me say this to you real quick. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be cutting. You know how I do, my brother.
No, we good.
Executive order, brothers. You're not leaving that out, I hope. He's saying, I would have think that he's saying that executive orders can supersede what? I don't know.
No, the executive order comes from the president. That's already been stated. The president can say, I'm going to push the button and say we're going to go to war, but he cannot go to war unless the Congress says we're going to war, because Congress is the person who supersedes to say this treaty is now not being recognized. It takes three parts of our government to function, not one. We're not under a monarchy. We're not under a kingdom. We're not under a dictatorship. Understand how government works.
Huh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, brother, let's keep it moving, brother.
Yes, sir.
We got people that really want to understand this, but let me reiterate what he just did, and I hope y'all can go back and check it out, because I see numbers building up a little more. If you're just coming in, Brother Ishmael Bey is showing that treaties does not supersede supreme law of the land, as Taj, and I'm not putting Ishmael Bey, he's just the scholar. This is me saying this, that Taj R.V. Bey and those who follow that doctrine believe that treaties is the end all be all. Come on, Ish.
Yes, sir. And I think this is very important, because what this does is this lays the background to the Black Extremist Group report. On the backside, brother, I have that link on there, the political link. If you can just copy that, and so that we can kind of get the background of why this is important. The reason why this is important.
What is this link called?
It's the actual report. It's the report of the Black identity extremists. It's the Black identity extremists likely motivated to target law enforcement officers. Okay. This is what's going on as far as taking place in Congress. It was this week in Congress. It's the report from the 3rd of August, 2017. And they're identifying Black identity extremist groups. Okay.
Oh, did you send it to me?
I did. It's on the backside of the chat room where we're at, on the backside of us.
Okay. My bad. I was looking at the.
Right. Yeah, I added that later on because it just got posted. They just went to Congress yesterday, and so I wanted to make sure we added this on. And the reason why this is important is because there are other Black leaders trying to portray Moorish Science Temple as being a part of these groups. And it's important to understand that we have to be responsible with the information that we're putting out to the public. So we have to be able to go and read these reports. It's not even a very long report. It's a total of maybe about 12 pages. Yeah, and some of those pages are just actual the front. Right. Oh, perfect.
And they literally point out not the Moorish Science Temple of America, but the Moorish, what they call it, the Moorish
sovereign groups,
sovereign identity, something they call it. Let's see.
Correct. And it's on like page 5 and 6 at the bottom. They clarify kind of what they're looking for. So if we kind of go to that page number 5 and we look at the bottom, brother, you'll see that it says that the Moorish sovereign citizens are a loose network of mostly African Americans who believe they are sovereign entities who do not recognize the authority of the U.S. government. Moorish sovereign citizen ideology derives from the Moorish Science Temple of America, a nonviolent religious and cultural movement founded in 1913 by Noble Drew Ali. That's Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who taught his followers they were not Negroes, but Moors, people of North African, Berber, and Arab descent. Some Moorish adherents adopt sovereign citizen strategies to assert diplomatic immunity by claiming membership in fictitious Native American tribes, claiming descent from settlers who arrived in North America during the pre-Columbian era, or identifying as foreign nationals or ambassadors. So they also give like certain examples. I think they use like about 4 examples of these Black identity groups. 3 out of the 4 examples that they use are Moors.
That's right.
So that's why it's important that we as a united front make sure that we are separating or letting the public know that whether you're in the temple, there's a separation. And even if you're outside the temple, i.e. myself, that we also do not adhere to that type of ideology, so that everyone's families are not getting lumped together and being put in jeopardy. There's too much reckless information that goes out that people are pulling from. So again, no matter where the source comes from, we have to understand that the information that's going out there are putting people's lives in jeopardy. So if we can supply that link for the people to get the information, they can pull up the report, and then they will be able to get some clarity on exactly why we do what we do, because that's very, very important.
And let me say this. Let me assure you that there is no, and I'm gonna say this as the old me for a second. Let me pull him out the closet. Get on up, you.
Pull him out the closet.
Ain't no sucker in me. If I wanted to challenge the authority because I believe that a prophet of God demonstrated the degree for us to challenge authority, and I believed in my heart that that's what the prophet of God wanted us to do, like any other freedom fighter that went down shedding blood, if that's what I was prescribed to do, trust me, that's what I would do. But I'm telling you that that is not the Prophet Noble Drew Ali program. And I follow the prophet of God, and that's the way I'm going. I'm rolling with the prophet to the end. But I assure you, if his doctrine was to say I'm going to create me a driver's license, I'm going to stand on it. That's not his doctrine. If his doctrine was to challenge jurisdiction, I will stand on it. However, why would the prophet challenge jurisdiction of a judge, and he also voted Judge Blackwell in office? Meaning 3,000 people got behind Judge Blackwell to put him in office in 1927. But now you get in trouble and go to the same Judge Blackwell and say, where's your delegation of authority? And the Moors voted him in 1927. Doesn't make sense. They voted a judge in office in 1927 with 3,000 votes. Judge Blackwell, look it up. Come on.
And it shows also the contradiction of what the sovereign Moors of their argument points. Understand the fact that they were trying to attack our sister Shabazz as an attorney coming in and trying to enlighten us on how the law operates firsthand every day. So she's a person who's a professional in this field, and the person that she was trying to assist was a sister who said she let the world know where she got her information from when her children got stolen. She was asked point blank, where did you get this information from? She said, I got it from the RV Bay website. My children were taken from me. So the sister was trying to get the other sister's children back, but yet the sovereign Moors are attacking the attorney that's trying to give her the information in order to get her children back for following their information and losing her children in the first place.
Facts.
So that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people who, no matter what's being said, that's why I don't cater to them. They're trolls. So what we do is we're here to cater to the people, to make sure that the Moors and that the general public are getting the information. That's who we cater to. That's who we serve. And that's the most important thing that we can focus our time and money on.
Absolutely, my brother. And I just got to say, family, if you're watching this, I ask you to thumbs up, always thumbs up, because what happens is those who want to perpetuate the lie, whether they under delusional concepts, or whether they're agents to stop the mission of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whatever the case may be, they will come in by the hundreds and just thumbs down, and once they thumbs down, the video don't go into rotation and the word doesn't get out. So we want the word out that those who subscribe to the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America do not subscribe to any sovereign ideals or practices. We are here to become better citizens. And becoming a better citizen in the spirit of Prophet Noble Drew Ali is exacting your power of citizenship. When you become a better citizen, you understand the power of citizenship in real civics, where you can take 1,000 people and put somebody in a city council seat and bring the money back to your community. That is real civics. Come on, Ish.
Absolutely. We also touched on last week that there was the Washita topic had come up. And in that Washita topic, you know, it was brought out about, you know, that there's a video that that I gave you the link for, that you can pull up, and that you can either supply the link or we can play the video. It's not even a long video, but it was done by the Church Ward family. James Church Ward is one of the proponents of this land of Mu that is pushed by the Washita community, the Washita tribes. So
this is the Creek Treaty?
No, it's the video that says
Washita. I got you. I got you.
Yes. So in this, I contacted. I started making videos before actually they contacted me. I started making videos about the lie, about our people being misinformed, about Moors getting bad information, African people getting bad information about this land of Mu stuff. And the Church Ward family said that they would make a video denouncing the Washitas for using their family name in a negative way with false information. And they would produce this video if I would remove the 4 videos that I had that were attacking the Church Ward family. And being a family of their word, they created the video denouncing the Washita Moors and to clarify their position so that their family name would not be dragged into this mess. So that's what we discussed last week. And to make my word bond, I wanted to make sure I gave you that video so that the public could see it, brother.
So is there a brief timestamp that I can go to? I just put the link in the chat. So if you see a link for YouTube on it, I just put the link in the chat. Give me a second. I would like to hit on it for a minute to see what it's about, because I've never seen it. I want to know what the Church Warden I'm talking about. Look like they might got something.
Yeah, they made 2 videos. One of them was denouncing another individual, our brother, and then that one had about like 95,000 views, and this one had a couple thousand views also. Very, very, you know.
So let's see if we can just
fronted with reference to his works. Podcast 8. In other cases, such as video games and science fiction, another example of the use of James Church Ward's theories that does not agree with his written works, although he is used as the source. The Moorish Empire Washita claims sovereignty over every other individual, state, county, or sovereign body, and to the world at large. Their assertion rests on their claim to be descendants of the Earth's first humans from the motherland of Mu. Furthermore, to quote a posted history, our Washita nation is a sovereign body of freedom-loving indigenous people who have existed all over the world, and specifically on the North American continent for thousands of years. We were here long before Columbus discovered the New World. We, Washita people, who have always been guided by a bloodline of empresses, are known as the mound builders. This is evidenced by hundreds of man-made mounds all across the continent, particularly in the Deep South. Our ancient territory is black individuals, except black females and males. James Church Ward's maps of his lost continent of Mu are used, and his name is bandied about as the authority on this subject, so one might expect to find mention of them in his books. These expectations would be sorely disappointed. I sent an email to the contact address on the website to request an interview. However, I did not receive a reply. I offer an open invitation to the Empress of Mu or her representative to discuss the contents of this presentation.
So Ish,
what does James
hold up, let me get that
say
one.
about the black people of Mu and the colonization of the Americas? First, in the 1931 Children of Mu, page 98, James states, the ancient Amazon route. Two of the most puzzling questions I've had to solve to be the slightest bit satisfied with my work was to tell how Negroes got to Atlantis and how Negroes got to Africa. Two facts had to be faced. Fact one, all the earth was peopled from Mu, the motherland. Fact two, the home of the Negro in the motherland was at the southwest corner of Mu, which is now represented by various clusters of islands.
I want to stop right there. Brother, you mean...
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir, brother.
It's news to me. You mean tell me, now I've heard the stories that the thing of Mu was made up. You mean tell me once again they have adopted a European philosophical approach to understanding the origin of themselves?
On their own website.
Stop this.
It's on their website.
Brother, stop.
Yeah.
Stop this. You gonna have to, you can't come on the show with this Ish.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. Ish. I've heard of Mu so many times. Brother Hakeem Bey teaches Mu. The other brother in North Carolina, Aline, they teach about Mu.
That's right.
And I knew it was a fictitious place, but brother, I didn't know that there was a European coming to refute even using his family stuff. Oh,
that's
my
why.
goodness.
That's why scholarship is important, Brother Taharka. Because when you see your people caught in the web, you got to go and kill a spider. So my job,
not Raphael Hakeem Bey, not that Hakeem Bey, not him.
right. No. That's good. But you got to go kill a spider so that he cannot produce another web. So my job was to go and attack the source, the white source, European source, whatever, of who's feeding our people this misinformation. That's why I locked on the neck of the church war family directly, because those were the people that I was holding accountable and responsible for fooling and mistreating our Moorish brothers and sisters. Our babies are not going to fall for the lies. Our babies are not going to be falling for the traps, and our babies will not be miseducated.
Hey, brother, you know what that reminds me of? Almost everything that you, the ideals that are espoused on RV Bey, you can literally trace it back to European, if you will, white sovereign militia organizations. You can literally trace back the footprint or the fingerprint back to European sovereign groups. And our people buy this stuff hook, line, and sinker. Like, for instance, people act like the prophet could not challenge jurisdiction. Remember, he got locked up, right?
That's right.
He got locked up, Ish. Was there any record recording that he challenged jurisdiction?
No, sir.
Remember, they got records of Moors that actually got locked up there. Was there any type of discovery that they let them go because they didn't have jurisdiction or a delegation of authority?
No, as a matter of fact, the prophet was active in telling Moors not to challenge the police directly. There was a time when Moors would walk up to the police and flip the police hat off and then show their ID card like it was some type of immunity or diplomatic type of mindset. The prophet told them not to do that, not to flash your card, in order to educate Moors properly of how to conduct themselves as civilized people and of citizens of this country.
Yeah, Ish, come on, Ish, keep it going. Ish, you got me worked up now. Ish. I wish I didn't have this cold. Oh my goodness, Ish, man, they are using European doctrine to verify the origin of themselves, and it's a mythical place.
Right.
It's not even like a European created a false narrative that actually exists, but they twisted it. This is actually a mythical place.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Come on, Ish, come on. Oh my goodness.
So you were dealing also early. I mean, did you Are we good with the Washington thing? We have the link if the people want to read that.
I'm upset. I'm upset.
No, don't get worked up, brother.
I got some brothers I love in the Washington community. You know what I mean? My brother Kansu was formerly in there. I got another brother named Ottawa. Man, I mean, I love you. Oh my goodness. Don't y'all be mad at me. I just a truth seeker. That's it. Come on, Ish. Let's go.
Yeah. To deal with the doctrine does not mean there's a hatred for our sisters and our brothers. We love them. You know, we want to let them know that all doctrine is able to be challenged. And, you know, if we're presenting the truth, then you're the person who has that. You're in a dilemma now. You either acknowledge that truth or you carry on with the lie. And it's very, very simple. If somebody's downing this video or somebody's attacking Taharka Bey or Moorish World TV, then you're in opposition of the truth. There's nothing here that's been presented that's false. All the information has been presented. All the facts have been presented. So if you're in dispute of something, you're in dispute of the truth. So that's going to be speaking about who you are rather than who we are. So I do have a link on there, Brother Taharka. I know we were talking about earlier about
one moment, brother. Who you always calling from? We on Moorish World TV right now. Islam, peace and love. How you doing, brother? I'm doing well. Who I'm speaking with? Okay, brother. Can you be respectful? Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. Hold up. Let me sit you up here. Put you on speaker. We got a call in, Brother Ish. My brother from the Taj, he said Taj Tariq fan, so let's say a Taj Tariq supporter. As I tell everybody, I have no beef with Taj Tariq. I just want to get you the truth and nothing but the truth. So, brother, let me make sure that the people can hear you. So let the people know who you are and where you're calling from.
Oh, hey, my name is Real Words, and I've been around the Moorish community, the awesome. First got taught from awesome MSTA, the awesome MSTA. You know what I'm saying? They taught me how to stand up and stand like a man, but you know what I'm saying? Taj Tariq gave me a better understanding of a lot of things, and it hurt my feeling that the greatest movement is like dividing on some stuff. And I just want some questions answered. That's about it. No trying to start a debate or nothing like that.
Oh yeah. Praise the Lord. Good. So I'm going to see if I don't feel as though I can answer. I'm gonna try to answer this short, and then I'll pass it to Ish. If it's relating to the Moorish paradigm, I got you to the best of my ability. But come on with it.
Oh no, just some light questions. Just really just when I be looking at Taj, because I don't trust no man. You know, we don't trust no man. I've never seen him say sovereign on nothing. I just heard him say national.
Yes.
And I was just wondering, where can I see him saying it? Nothing that the people around him, because I agree that Cujo and Sabir be around him and then go say some different stuff.
Right.
Gotta agree with that, but I've never seen him say it.
The only time Taj will say sovereign is talking about a human being is a sovereign. Now, he's not talking about a sovereign citizen. That's not what we're saying. Yeah, he's not talking about it. He never mentions you as a sovereign citizen. The point of the matter,
Islam, brother.
No.
Brother.
The point of the matter is that the ideal is consistent with sovereign citizen doctrine. But Taj never calls himself or anybody a sovereign citizen. Never.
But people around him have, and I gotta agree with that.
Yeah. So I'm being honest as I can, with the information that I know, that the doctrine that the European describes as a sovereign citizen doctrine, whether it be Europeans or Asiatic, the doctrine is consistent. IDs, delegation of authority, jurisdiction, all of those things come out of a Eurocentric sovereign citizen movement, if you will. We know sovereign citizen is an oxymoron, but they call it the sovereign ideal. And that's why in the report that you read, they no longer call it sovereign citizen. They call it a sovereign ideal. Black identity ideal. It's a way of thinking.
I feel you on that. You said exactly. As long as he ain't say, well, I mean, I agree with you. Some stuff you got to look into it before we talk. But hey, that was great. It is Islam. But one more question, brother.
Come on with it.
No, nothing. No, it's just to the brother. Just
brother Ishmael, this one for you, brother.
No, this to you too, brother. Okay. Well, I used to first watch your show when Sharif Bey was on, and he said that Western Africa and Eastern America was like reflections of each other.
Facts. Facts.
If you're going where I'm going with this, like,
come on with it.
So how can a person from like you know, our brothers over in Africa, when they came over here, there was already Moors over here, the Washita Moors.
So what's your question to that?
I'm just trying to let you understand where I just think a lot of us get confused. That is, we're all the same. We're all mighty Moors.
Absolutely. We're definitely all the same. The issue is this. The issue is that Prophet Noble Drew Ali has an end game that's perpetual, and it works only as a group, i.e. a nation. And if we don't get back in accord with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, other temples will continue to have church. Other temples will continue to have group meetings and brotherhood clubs, as opposed to getting on the road to get to the point where the Prophet said we need to go. Most people don't know what it is. Well, fortunately, I think I do. And I'm trying to get the ball rolling. This is bigger than YouTube. You know what I'm saying? This is bigger than YouTube. But we got to get back in line with what the Prophet laid down if we ever want to see ourselves as an independent nation. We got to get back in line with the Prophet. You follow me?
Okay, so just so you're saying that we are a reflection of each other, that there was Moors in both places.
Yeah, absolutely. We're the same people. We're the same,
brother.
Yeah, we're the same people.
Man, y'all having a great conversation, and thanks for the answers, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you for calling in, brother. And more importantly, thank you for your spirit, and thank you for sharing your viewpoint also. It's very, very valuable. Peace,
so Ish, hold on, Ish.
Yes, sir.
Hold up. Somebody, they're going to be start calling in now because I put the phone in there for the sister to call in back there. But carry on, Ish, carry on. I might have to stop you a few so we can get some of these questions, because one thing about me is I don't run from no controversy. I don't run from somebody asking a hard question, because I'm simply a grown man.
Of course.
That's not scared to say,
right.
Well, you know what? I don't know.
Yeah, no, Moors are men.
Find somebody else that do.
Moors are men.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, let's go.
Yeah. So again, we were talking about, because we're not just dealing with just one thing. We're actually covering a lot of ground here. There's also a common misnomer, as in African people cannot be, part indigenous, or you can't be African and indigenous, or you can't, you got to be all or one. This is very elementary, I don't know, retarded type of teaching, as far as people act like you can't just be this or that.
Right.
The facts show that 3 to 4 out of every 10 of us have some type of a native blend in us. Yes. Some type of Native American blend. So it's millions of us. If you consider that there's 12 to 14 million of us or whatever, take again 3 to 4 out of every 10 of us, and we have some type of a native blend to us. So we have, like California. California was founded by African native people, not just in the picture. I don't do the whole picturology, right. The comparison. Ooh, look at him. He looked like so-and-so. So that means that this, that. No, the picturology stuff, that don't work. But what we do have is, I sent you 2 video links on the inbox on the Facebook for the people to get. I mean, they're very brief clips, but what it is it's a part of a lecture that proves the African Moorish indigenous origins of California. Now, we already know that. I'm sorry, what are you about to say?
Is that, my brother?
It's on your Facebook page. I sent you 2 videos on those links, and in there. So the top one and the bottom, if you play the top one first, that'll lay the groundwork of what I'm speaking about right now.
Pulling my page up right now.
Yes, sir. So what it is we already know that the state of New Mexico was founded by a Moor that came over with the Spanish, and he founded New Mexico. He also traveled to Florida. He also traveled to Arizona and through Texas. So now we're dealing with California, who, again, we're going to pull up the information so the people can get the lecture, the link, so that they can get the firsthand information and study it for themselves, which is most important. Again, these are African Moors who were part of the indigenous population that founded the state of California, which is very, very important information.
Well, I definitely don't see, you know, my page get cluttered up real fast.
In your inbox?
I don't see it in the messenger.
Yeah, it's in the messenger. It's in the messenger. I sent it to you. It came across at 7:23.
Okay, let me check it out then. Let me check it
Yes,
out.
sir.
But yeah, okay, I got you. Let's go with the first one. Here we go. If I can. What's going on here?
Yes, sir.
Like many other early Mexican settlers.
Hold on 1 second, because I can't screenshot it because it's kind of small. It won't blow up. Oh yeah, we go. There we go. There we go. I want the family to see what's going on here. Let me blow it up. Let me blow it up. Let me blow it up. I want them to see what's going on here. Give me 1 second. I want them. You know what I mean, one thing I ain't no one of them type of person to try to bend the truth so it can fit what I want. That ain't my thing. You know what I mean? I want you to see everything.
Teach hard, Taharka.
That's right. Teach
hard.
hard. You know what, brother? You know what? I love that saying, right? You know who they used to say that to? You know who used to say that, right? Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
No, who?
Teach
Oh,
hard.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, we used to. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So here we go.
Images that many of us have of Californios. Like many other early Mexican settlers, Pio Pico was of African descent. Juana Briones, the second non-native settler of Yerba Buena, was also of African ancestry. And when we
Hold up. I want y'all to hear this good. So let me get it.
the images that many of us have of Californios. Like many other early Mexican settlers, Pio Pico was of African descent. Juana Briones, the second non-native settler of Yerba Buena, was also of African ancestry. And when we did our show on Juana Briones, this was a fact that continued to surprise our guests. They just were not aware of the early African roots of California.
There you go. And so
again, it's breaking down the early African roots of California. Now, if you pull up that second video, it's going to deal specifically with the Moorish history, African history, in the roots of California, with the questionnaire asking specifically about Moors and California, and you'll listen to the lecturer give the answer in detail. Again, it'll be the second video, brother.
It's coming 1 second. Let me load him up. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I invite anybody to the platform that has a respectable dialogue that would like to prove any of this information wrong. If you see me post something and you wish to think that you can prove it wrong, I invite you to do it. I'm going to be respectful as I possibly can. Sometimes we get caught up in the heat of the moment. We cut each other off, but that would never mean that I disrespect you, because that ain't my style. But here we go.
The South Spain, Andalusia. Hi. Whoa. I wanted to talk a little bit about the South Spain, Andalusia. If any of the Spaniards, because South Spain being so close to Africa, there are Moors along the coast. There's that rigid caste system, but we have a lot of blackness in us also. Absolutely. And I'm wondering if you can speak about any of the Spaniards, were they Andalus? And did that have any bearing on some of the stuff that was going on? And we're in an interesting time right now. We're actually being able to talk about this, which is exciting. Yes. Thank you. But I'm wondering if you can speak a little bit about that, if you know anything.
Sure. So the caste system was crazy because it suggested that the Spaniards were pure, which is anything but true.
Oh, did I say that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there was a tremendous amount of mixture with African and Moorish ancestry, but they're the ones that brought over the caste system. It was in existence in Spain before it was here.
The Inquisition. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was they had a caste system, and that transition from Jewish and Moorish and Caucasian and so forth. In Mexico, there's a town called Matamoros, which means kill the Moor.
Oh no!
Right. So there was a lot of antagonism, and maybe The Spaniards, you know, a lot of them who came over wanted to hide that aspect, but it's definitely there. It's in the Spanish culture, for sure.
Construct. Thank you.
So there it is. See, this is what I like about the Billy D and the conscious community. He just give it to you just the way that it is, and you either just going to accept it or you going to reject it. It is what it is. That's Ishmael Bey, the Billy D of the country.
I definitely think that's so important, though, that the information that goes out, that it is, you know, to be balanced, as opposed to having a slant on it. I think it's going to bring both sides to the center. You know, not having a vested interest on one side or the other, and you're dealing with the truth, then the truth is going to stand on its own. And if the truth is leading you to the path of the same path that the prophet walked, then that's all that he wants for you to do. He put us in a seat of being scientists, and that means to advance the culture. That means to study and to prove what's being taught. He stated that Moors were part of the indigenous population here. My job is to prove his words right. And it's to be done responsibly. And it's to be done respectfully. And it's to be done in his name, because he put us on this path for a particular reason. So when we do this, we don't do this with any vested interest of me trying to sell something to you. We're not selling you this information. We're here to give you this information.
How about that, Ish? You know what I mean? The only thing I ask people to do is maybe donate to the Moorish village, donate for me to come to your town, help support me to come to your town. But man, I ain't gonna sell you a whole bunch of cards and some freedom that as soon as you try to be free, you're gonna be in prison. I ain't gonna do all that. I ain't gonna be able to do that. I want everybody to thumbs up the video. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna keep going until y'all say no or go home. We want to try to get this information. We got quite a few more slides. I mean, you know, links. I think the brother really cleared up a lot of the information with that little couple videos and slides. So, brother, what's next for you? What's next, brother? Talk to me.
Well, we have another link on there, brother, that deals with Silas Jefferson. He's the brother that's on the flyer itself. He's my ancestor, and it actually adds to not the bottom link, but the first link of Silas Jefferson, which is down at the very bottom of the page of the email that I sent you.
I think I got you.
Okay. So
is that it?
Silas Jefferson, it is indeed. Silas Jefferson, this is from he's very well known as far as being quote unquote Black Indian. And we come from Alabama. You know, we come from Tuskegee, Alabama. We still own our land there. The land that was originally given to us in Alabama, Silas Jefferson's, again, we come from the bloodline which is called Moniacs. We're Moniacs. Moniacs are Creek Indians and Africans. That's who we are. So a branch of us went to Oklahoma and a branch of us stayed in Alabama. I'm from the branch that stayed in Alabama. He's of the Moniacs that went to walk the Trail of Tears. And just to, you know, kind of give you the basis of kind of what he was and who he was the chief of, our clan is called the Wind Clan. So we have a Wind Clan that's in Alabama, and we have a Wind Clan that's in Oklahoma. He's the chief of the Wind Clan in Oklahoma. Again, he ran as the second chief of the Loyal Party ticket. Again, very well known. You can read different books on the ancestor, Silas Jefferson. Again, Gary Zeller, African Creeks, is a very rich history of that blend of us being indigenous and African people. But what we try to stress to let people know is there was a phase to where even Silas Jefferson's own family, same mother, same father. Silas Jefferson is listed as a Creek Indian. His brother is listed as a freedman. Same mother, same father. Silas Jefferson was not a freedman. He was listed as tribal. So he was able to go on to be a chief, and his own brother had to be a freedman and not get the same rights. So again, Some people were totally European and bought what they call the $5 Indian, is true, and they were able to be added onto the rolls. So this is how the history worked, which is why we fought to stay in Alabama. Our branch still owns land that's been from the 1800s that we still own, 120 acres, tax-free, and it's to be in our family, deeded to us by the president forever. But our family was recognized as one of the families who didn't have to walk the Trail of Tears. So again, we're the Hollinger-Moniac family. So we own the Hollinger land. But I just want to let the people know that you can be mislabeled and you can be indigenous to this land, but be mislabeled as Negro, Black, and colored, and you have your land rights taken away from you. This is what happened with these different wars of what Europeans were doing. They were taking the lands from the people in the Southeast using the 5 civilized tribes. So whether you're Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Seminole, it didn't matter. They were able to take these people who look African or who are African and still take their land. And then take their rights, their birthrights also. So that's why it's very important to understand how you go and you find your family history that could connect you to the history that you've been robbed of, brother.
Islam. Hey, brother, let me ask you a question. I got somebody saying in on Facebook, they're saying that it's in the documentation. This is from Tana Raboya. Sorry if I butcher your name if you're watching. I don't mean to. It says, it is in the documentation, the Constitution and any treaties entered into shall be supreme law of the land. The Constitution is a living will for North American Republic Americans. What you say to that, Ish? American Republic Americans. That would
the case law has already proven to you that a treaty is not the highest law of the land. So if you have a problem, if anyone differs with the information that's been read with the head money case, again, the case has already been presented and tried. Treaties have already challenged.
I asked them, her or him, because the name is Tana. I apologize if I got the sex wrong. The point of the matter is, I asked for the source so we can compare it, or I can present it. You feel me?
Absolutely. Yeah, just have them present their information so that we can vet it, and then we can say whether it's valid or not. Me just taking someone's word for it of treaty being the highest law of the land. Native Americans have been trying to say that it's the highest law of the land forever. That's why the head money case is used to defeat them. I picked up that case when I was studying Native American law to get my degree. I'm not just pulling this out of the air. I'm pulling up because a part of my degree is Native American studies. So that's where I got the information from of certain key cases. Right. And brother, that's another thing. A lot of these people think that they got some law degrees off of the internet somewhere. It's like the what they used to have back in the day, the vacuum cleaner salesman, where he just show up with the vacuum cleaner. You think you got a good deal, he walk away, and then you stuck with a piece of junk or something. These people are taking this stuff offline, think they got a real good grip or a hand on jurisprudence, if you will. They go try this stuff, and I don't think, I don't really think that all of them really try this madness. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think. I think they want to believe that this stuff is legitimate, because in 2017, man, I'm telling you, them Europeans be blasting you upside your head. You keep on flashing that paper from RB Bey. Keep on playing these games. Well, that's the difference. Believe in this stuff. I just don't. That's the difference. The laws are changing and evolving, and a lot of the information that's being promoted is outdated, and that's the problem. Therein lies the problem. They're telling you what the Black extremist groups are. They're now lumping Moors in as the Black extremist group, knowing that Moors don't even consider themselves Black.
Exactly.
So they're changing and evolving and making it this ambiguous RICO Act engulfment that's luring innocent Moors into the trap, and they're gladly walking into the trap.
And they're
sitting here arguing with us, trying to tell us that a treaty is the highest law of the land when we're telling you and showing you and proving to you that it's not, and you're selling that lie to the people. We're giving the people the truth for free, and you're selling the people a lie that you're too scared to even come and face off. I can't respect you for that.
That's what blows me away. Everybody wants to challenge what you say, what I say, maybe what Sharif say. You know what? We talk about black power and the nationals probably say, I ain't black, and argue to they blue in the face, whatever the case may be. And one thing we have to do is give honor to the brother over there on HOK, Brother Reggie. Brother Reggie did not have a clue about Moorish science, but at least he had enough backbone, enough courage, enough testicular fortitude to stand on what he believed in front of hundreds. These people running their mouth, they won't even stand face to face and stand on what they believe. They hide behind a keyboard, making little accusations and making little taking little pop shots with no reference. You know, a brother told me today. He told a sister. That's right. I'm gonna say it. That I was linked in on the feed. He told his sister, stay away from them Moors because they try to sell you something or try to basically manipulate you. Now, I don't know one Moorish American in the Moorish science tip of America goes out trying to sell you something if it's not for your benefit or something that you possibly could really use or enjoy, like a t-shirt, a pen, a flag, maybe some literature from the prophet, stuff like that. But he was referring to the sovereign citizen Moors. And so it was a sister in there, and she says, right on the same feed, she says she wants to proclaim her nationality. And all of these L's and Bays, this is what the Post said, this is public record, all these L's and Bays, but nobody is pointing me in the right direction. And here we go, up jump the boogie. Superstar Ishmael Bey comes out of his side of his neck and says, just add L and Bey to your name. The sister has no concept of Moorish science. The sister has no concept of Bey or L, don't know what Bey mean, don't know what L mean. He said, just put it on your name. Why y'all trying to send her somewhere? You see how reckless this is?
Exactly.
Fortunately, the sister didn't respond and the chat stayed like it was. But this is how reckless this has gotten. That this brother would be just so irresponsible to tell somebody, just put it on your name, and she don't even know how to represent it. Man, this is insane, man. That's just like anybody can, on a stroke of a mouse or the keyboard, and buy it. And buy a right to travel card, jump in the car because their license suspended, and then flash it and wonder why they're getting their window bust and dragged on the ground. What's next, brother? You there, Ish?
Yes, sir. I'm here, brother. I'm here.
Yeah, brother. I mean, it just blows me away, the recklessness. And then you look at this brother live streams. I slide through that sometime and check him out, see what he's talking about. You look at the brother live stream, you got 300 people bigging him up. I watched him go from 40 to 300 people, just so enamored with, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Enamored with this foolishness. That the problem, I call it foolishness. That's right, I said it. Tell him I said it. Because there is no end game. Okay, let's say if it was correct. Let's just hypothetically say it was correct. You change your status for $1,500 or you change it for free. You change all your paperwork. You get a right to travel card. And then you're able to drive and a right to travel. A court cannot lock you up for smoking weed, selling dope, shooting people, none of that, because they have no jurisdiction. Now, after that, then what? You're still not a nation of people because you're not organized. And it's going to be a nation in chaos because nobody has to be accountable for anything because there is no jurisdiction. And then you got a bunch of people with these half-baked law degrees from RB Bey think they're going to run a government and probably don't have an 8th grade certificate, with all due respect. Talk to me, Kush. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me.
I just feel like, you know, we have to be responsible for the information that we're disseminating to the people. We have an obligation to do that, as well as us sliding into eldership roles. You know, I'm in my 50s now. I can't be as reckless as I was in my 20s. I can't be as reckless as I was in my 30s. So I have to put on my hat as a 50-year-old and not be gang banging and not be set tripping and not be misleading people, but to make sure that I'm being sound and reasonable on the information that I'm putting out. Don't mean that I won't air you out. If you're coming with some information, I'm gonna crush you.
That's right.
But what I will do also is I'm gonna be very sound and I'm gonna be looking at the bigger picture. And knowing that if I see a brother or a sister, and I know that somebody like Taharka Bey is sincere in what he's working for, then you lock arms with your brothers and you lock arms with your sisters and you work hard to make sure that we're able to establish institutions. Wouldn't it be beautiful to make sure that a part of the Moorish village, a part of it is just dealing with studies, and to make sure that the information that they're getting that is sound, that they can stand up in front of universities and to anywhere on this planet and prove that Moors did this and Moors did that, because there's a sound doctrine.
Those are many people that follow the doctrine of Taj. They study. They really study, but they study to confirm Taj. They study to confirm what Taj said. If they say they follow the prophet, I just encourage that you study to confirm the prophet first and then branch out. That's all I say. Study to confirm the prophet. You know, you can even disagree with the prophet. You're going to end up on the side of the prophet at the end. But confirming Taj, I got over 30 quotes right now where Taj said the prophet said and never said it. Right now, before he and then I'm gonna give one that I always use. The prophet said, study, study, study. And then he goes on to say, in the Black Laws Dictionary, you'll find the etiman. You got to look up the etiman. But see, when he said the prophet said, study, 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 everything after that is validated. This Psychology 101 is validated by the prophet said. When in reality, the prophet never said, study, study, study. Which I do encourage you to study, study, study. But why don't he just say study, 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 and he uses that the prophet says study, study, study? Because that will influence your judgment to study what he's going to say after the fact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, we have the people who have already verified where they get their information from. And we've seen the results of people who have followed verbatim where they got it from, done what they said to do, and the outcome of that. So, you know, again, and the methodology of what's being used. We have the videos of him saying, file paperwork, file paperwork, file paperwork. So don't be surprised when the FBI says paper terrorists, paper terrorists, paper terrorists. Somebody is ordering you to do it that way. And it has to be an accountability of people, of putting people on a path that's going to lead to their own destruction. Around to even help these people when they're in trouble. Where are you at when these children are being taken from the mother? Where are you at when these people are being put into prison? When these people are taking part of your doctrine and squatting in houses and all these other things that are going on and taking place? Not placing blame on any one individual. I'm saying that you have to put safeguards in place to make sure that the information is being disseminated responsibly. And if you're not going to do that, then we're going to put this line of demarcation up there and you're going to get aired out at every single turn. Because I'm not going to allow you to be having everyone with Beys and Eels and Alis and all these righteous, peaceful people being brought into the crossfire, into a death trap.
And that
It's not going to happen.
And that ain't what we stand for. The prophet said, I came with the, he said, let me make sure I get it right. He said, I came with the plan of the ages. The divine plan, that's what it's called. The divine plan of the ages. And we know that any plan has to be calculated and pursued specifically according to the plan. I challenge anybody outside the temple or in the temple, describe what is the divine plan of the ages. Because once you understand the divine plan of the ages, then you know your marching orders. And we can get to resolution real fast. Period, point blank. I want to invite somebody. If Ish want to go on with a couple of slides, I definitely want to invite a few people to call in.
Absolutely. We invite anybody to call in, as well as especially the sideline critique freaks. The ones who always want to critique in Monday morning quarterback. They in the chat room, or they're watching the video right now. They just afraid to log on, but yet they're the first ones who are going to be on Facebook, sideline critique freaking again.
Exactly.
Because we interrupting your money and your hustle. Yes, we're interrupting your money and your hustle. Yes, we're exposing the sham, and you shaking down people's pockets, selling them that bull. Yes, that's the job.
Ish, you know, one of the things is this, Ish. This is the thing. It's a new generation of Tajes that go around and do these little backroom lectures or backroom teaching of so-called.
Leave Taj alone, man. Let that man got his secret treaty of Rona, and he got his doop-de-doop-de-doo. He got his. Look at that man alone. Let that man do his thing.
Let me say this, Ish. You're absolutely right. The only reason I use or say Taj's name, the only reason is because he is the father of right to travel as it relates to the Moorish paradigm.
Yes.
He is the father of delegation of authority as it relates to the Moorish paradigm. He is the father of a lot of this information. So if I don't mention his name, then that's irresponsible on my part. You know what I mean? It's irresponsible because, like I said, you have people like Wimble-El. They go do lectures. I mean, not lectures. They have these little backroom things. But let me tell you something. I never want to come off as I'm disrespectful to the elder Taj.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I only question the information. I have not called him a name.
That's right.
I have not slung mud on his character. In fact, I believe Todd's thinking that what he's teaching is good for our people.
Yeah, it's just outdated. That stuff is old, man.
But let me tell you something. Todd is 70 years old. I would almost put something on it that a good percentage of Moors would not have entered the temple if it wasn't for Taj. Because he put the name of Drew Ali on the hearts and minds of people and made some people seek further. And it landed a lot of people in the temple. Shout out to my sister, C. Jones Bey. Taj influenced her. And with her, that was the first step of her journey. Now she in the temple strong, going on strong. Shout out to my brother, Shawnee. You know, these brothers or sisters, if you will, was listening to Taj, and they begin to seek deeper. And now they moving towards the agenda and the program of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So I give the brother that a lot of people probably wouldn't have walked through the temple door because Taj went to the highways, the byways, the four corners of the United States with his message, which enlightened some people to at least click, to at least click the light switch on.
That's very fair. That's very fair.
Many others, the mass majority, they take it and run as if Taj, like the picture where Taj is standing behind the prophet. and they made it black and white as if Taj is the prophet. And that's the type of honor that they give him. And it's good to honor a man, but do not superimpose or even make the honor look greater than his teacher that he says his teacher. Period.
Absolutely. And don't leave out CM Bey and that school of thought that's a part of adding to the confusion to what we see today also. Don't ignore the, not you, I'm just saying the public.
I want to get a show on here with you, and I would love to get you and Brother Sharif on here with the history of CM Bey. No slander, just straight experience of what the doctrine is. What are some of the things that y'all tried? I've heard of some of the approaching the judges, going up Syracuse University.
Yes.
I think people would love to hear the history on standing on your square, if you will.
Shout out to the Syracuse Moorish Science Temple and the Syracuse Moors. Shout out to them. I mean, all the Moors, but the Syracuse Moors, they're so special because that's a part of my DNA. So for them, to see the beautiful works that they do, be it from Brother Sharif or Brother Billy Denham-El or Brother Ashawn, just so many other beautiful brothers and sisters and Sister Dawn and all of them, Monica, all of them. Just, all praises due to Allah. Walk the path, stay the path, represent yourself, be proud, be Moors, and understand that your brother Ish and Brother Taharka and we're here to make sure that we're laying a proper foundation so that you can walk with your heads up high, to make sure that the knowledge that you're sharing, that is accurate, and that you can hold yourself up with dignity and represent the prophet in the best way.
And family, I like to say, sound like we're about to close it out. Ish, you're always welcome on the show, brother. All you got to do is ring the line. Especially Ish. I'm gonna tell you the truth, Ish. When somebody come at you sideways, Ish, I need you to call me ASAP. I need you to come up here and am out. That's just what it is. That's what it is. I told the people that I am the Moor that went over the Alps in the cold. I was on the elephant. I wasn't the scholar Moor. So I love to see when people such as yourself can bring truth that can't be disputed, but it will be disputed in a whisper, but never face to face. They will try to dispute in a whisper, never face to face. So, brother, you're always welcome. I want to say this to the family. Listen, if y'all haven't supported the Moorish Village Building Fund, I ask you to Google the Moorish Village Building, Moorish Village, anything with Moorish Village in it. Go to the GoFundMe, drop $2 or $3 in it. It don't matter. We just gonna let it build up until we get to the point to be able to buy materials to implement this plan. Be the will of Allah. I'm going to be moving to the Moorish Village by this spring. That's my plan. So that's my plan. I'm going to rent my house out and I'm gone. I'm going to move by example. You see, I'm not going to be like one of them fringe groups that tell you do this and they never did it themselves. I'm going to back up the U-Haul, pack my stuff up, and I'm moving to the Moorish Village. I'm going to be the first one there. It's going to be a whole row of empty houses, and I'm going to be right there chilling, waiting for the Moors who have confidence in the Prophet's program to follow suit. We already got we got about 5 of Moors that's willing to follow suit, but after them 5, we need 10 more, 20 more, 30 more, until we can get a whole district full of Moors, and we take that district. Once we take that district, boom, the gold and the silver are for the people alone. Then we can really do the work that it takes to uplift all of humanity, because our problem is largely economic. We need that paper.
Yes, sir.
Anything in closing, Ish?
I think that we showed and proved the noble rise over the treaty lies. I think we showed and proved that a treaty is not the highest law of the land. It's the needs and the wants and the rule of the citizens upon which the Congress represents. That supersedes a treaty. So anyone who's trying to sell you the lie that a treaty is the highest law of the land and it's your fair, it's going to get you out of this and get you out of that and just clutch that treaty and throw it down at the judge, you're crazy. You're out your mind. and it's setting you up for a trap, and it's setting your people up for death. Don't believe them. Don't buy the lie. So I'm glad that Brother Taharka was able to set up the forum where we could actually deal with this topic of the noble rise over the treaty lies. I want to thank you, brother. I want to thank you for hosting such a wonderful show. I want to thank you for the work that you do, and may Allah always watch over you and guide you in the best of ways. You set a very good example for us, and I want to thank your listening audience. I think that a lot of the information that was being shared in the chat room was very, very productive. And I want to welcome anyone who would like to join Amir Ra Squad African Moorish Scholarship on Facebook to come and be a part of what we do as far as disseminating information. All are welcome as long as you come with a peaceful spirit. If you come with the right spirit, we're all here to build together. Make sure that you support the Moorish village. Make sure you support the Moors that are out here doing the work and doing the duty, because we're not going to stop representing the Prophet in the best way that we know how. If there's any way that I fall short, then put that on me. Don't put that on the Prophet. Don't put that on the teachings. I'm not a holy man. I'm not a righteous man. I'm just trying to be the best man that I can. So if I am full of flaws, then may Allah watch over me and protect me and put me back on the path. But what I do know is that I'm very sincere in what I do, and I try as hard as I can to make sure that the Moors are being served properly. So Brother Taharka, if you are Hannibal, I'm your sword, and I make sure that I stay sharp so that I can chop these necks off of anybody that's coming at you or coming at any Moors that wish to use and wield me, if it be Allah's grace. So I want to thank you again, brother, for having me, and may Allah bless you, brother.
Indeed. And what we're going to go out with, by request. Brother wanted to see the old Moorish video of the Moorish community, i.e. the Moorish village. So I am going to, by request, show the Moorish village. And I want you to watch this and ask yourself, what happened? Why is the village or community is not thriving today? And why aren't you participating to rebuild it? The link will be at the bottom of this video to support the GoFundMe or to support the Facebook link. Ask yourself why you're not supporting it. Because if you're not supporting it, obviously we still suffering from the principles that allude to slavery. There you go. What did happen? Oh, this is an old video, so the sound might have went out, but let's check it out. I don't know what didn't happen. Can you hear Ish?
Yes, sir. I don't hear the volume, but yes, sir. I'm with you.
Are we good? Can y'all hear everybody? I don't hear nothing.
Yeah, the volume's not on the video.
Well, I don't hear nothing right now. Let's see what the people can hear. Can the people hear anything? Can you hear me? Yeah, they can't hear me. I can't hear no audio nowhere. I only hear myself. What's going on?
They say it's okay, keep playing it.
Okay, it's gonna keep playing. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I see. Somebody said if you play music.
Yeah. Islam. I'm trying to be your friend, man.
Time for your friend, bro. Help me out. Meet me halfway. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. Well, let me be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Now let me be your friend. Peace and love. Hey yo, I used to be a thug until I met the prophet. Now I'm up with the link. Love, truth, you know, freedom till I return. Let's look one day we gon' meet him. I'm gonna get y'all so I'm gonna put the link in the chat. From all the Moorish fashion, all things considered. Shout out to Shaheed Jennings Hill. Enough to call enough Neanderthal, and he all pale. I mean, for real, this is what it comes to. Shout out to Shaheed Jennings Hill for the link. Yeah, we can be scholarly, but we feel God. We are the children of our father, and the rest of our mother has nursed us all. And first of all, let's go. These people might have been trying to murder us all. You need to chill, my brother. Tell the elder the same, cause on the shout out, we be back. I'm really about them things. Oh, take the feds off and get me back in the know. And return to the state where they used to call me dope, but no. Family, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, I will be live streaming the latest lecture from Sister Dana Manichi. She did it last week in Washington, D.C. It's about the Moorish Asiatic diaspora. You don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. If you like history, if you want to know the difference between the out of Africa theory and the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we are descendants from the ancient Canaanites, Hebrew brothers would appreciate this also. She relates the Moorish and the Hebrew as one people. She relates that the outer Africa theory, if you will, is based on flawed research and European demarcation lines. They separated the continent, if you will, or separated the landmass and shift things around. So if you like history, irrefutable history, then this way you need to be tomorrow. I'm gonna stream it live. Oh, I'm rolling with the prophet of Allah. Want love, not war. Standing on that floor, and I'm holding the square. The compass and the axe that might be too deep. Yo, let's not get off track. See, our prophet was an adept. Do you know what that is? An Egyptian adept is a brother who lived by the universal science developing the Nile. English, but it's the same, my child. Sit at the foot of a master. I train you up, but I might have to bang you up. I still love you, and those that's talking that this ain't Islam. Everything the prophet brought is in the Quran. All the other stuff prostrate and cover up is just the start. And there's space to me, the law is the heart. You can dress like Imhotep, but you can dress like an herb. Ride a Moorish American Bible. Family, I got a serious cold. For real. My son came from school yesterday and gave me a cold. I was up last night to 2 in the morning with my good brother Akhenaten on the radio from the ATL. I got up at 6 this morning, I got a cold, and we still got this work done. This is what it takes to build a nation. Sacrifice. Let's go. It may don't seem like it, but I'm toe up right now. But we're going to get this work done. Let's get it. Unifies the word. You can say what you want about Dr. Yo, but he gave you different variations. Thank you again, brother Ishmael Bey. I'm up out of here. The same thought, you don't appreciate that. You won't appreciate me. Appreciate the holy and divine Drew Ali. People refuse to admit it. He